Shell Eco Marathon, but a very different experience because you came to the Motor City, Detroit. So this elevates the whole event to a different level, no?
That is absolutely correct. I'm absolutely excited to have the Shell Eco Marathon in Detroit. In its 9th year, we have finally made it to the Motor City, and you can feel the buzz, you can feel the excitement in the floor here. That we're working now in the birthplace of modern mobility.
Yeah, which is pretty amazing. And we saw that now they have the experience, so people can go and see the history. And you have the first Ford model and all that. So and then like to see the kids doing their cars. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So the technical aspects of this has not changed, or like, is there any modification for 2014?
No, there is no significant.
15, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, there is no big change to the technical rules. We have added one fuel, which is compressed natural gas. So the students now can run their vehicle on 7 different fuels, which includes compressed natural gas and gas engines. But the biggest change, as you mentioned, indeed, is the public experience that is free to the people of Detroit to visit and see what is it about mobility, what is it about innovation, and also come and see the students at work.
Yeah. So one of the hashtags for social media for this event is Make the Future, and you mentioned 7 different powertrains, and that's what pretty much we're gonna see, right? I mean, a combination of everything, gas, gasoline, diesel, and this is actually a first glimpse of that future, right?
I think that is correct. I think the future of mobility is more diverse rather than more focusing on one particular energy. So I think electric mobility will probably play a role as much as other drivetrains like hydrogen, like gasoline and diesel, and biofuels, not to forget ethanol. So the mixture is what will make the future, and I think we want to encourage the students to optimize the efficiency of each of these drivetrains.
So, for example, Shell already is like working with hydrogen fuel cell cars and all that. So people who think that they're just only focused on gasoline and oil, it's completely wrong, right?
We're an energy company, and while we don't work particularly on hydrogen fuel cell cars, we recognize that hydrogen as an energy source is an important part and will most likely in the future play its role in driving us and driving the world and keeping us mobile, as much as other forms of energy.
So you've been doing this for how many years now?
I've been involved with the Shell Eco Marathon for about 15 years.
Okay, so you've seen a lot, and 15 years is already a good period of time to see something of this level of, let's call it experimental, to come into production. So can you mention something that you have seen that is already in like production cars today?
I think the most important contribution that the Shell Eco Marathon makes to the industry is about 10,000 students a year that have hands-on experience, hands-on knowledge and motivation to go into the industry and who take their ideas, who take their creativity into the industry. That is by far the biggest contribution. If you're referring to technical ideas, I mean, one example, for instance, was the start-stop technology in engines.
Oh, really?
That was already used in Shell Eco Marathon in the 80s, and now you find it in pretty much every mid-sized vehicle.
Yeah, and that, like, with all the regulations and all that, every single drop counts, like as is the case in this event, right? So maybe that was the idea behind it when they started it.
Absolutely correct. Every single drop counts.
Go ahead, don't worry.
And I think it is important that we all understand that energy efficiency is the biggest and the quickest opportunity to reduce energy consumption and also help to reduce CO2 emissions.
So you're in charge of the technical inspection here at the Shell Eco Marathon, and tell us a little bit about it. I mean, it's pretty strict. I mean, you see like the weight, the measurements, tell us about it, please. Yeah. It's incredible.
The technical inspection is a process where we check basically 2 things in the cars, whether they are safe and whether they are competitively fair. Now, that in itself breaks down into over 200 different pieces of a car that we inspect and that students have to pass. And I have heard from some universities that passing the technical inspection here at the Shell Eco Marathon Americas means a pass in their course for which they have been doing the course. So this is kind of an exam. And yes, we look thoroughly. We want to make sure the competition is fair, but also we are not here to fail the students. We are always trying to help them and point out where they can improve and have to improve.
So this is like a real-life test for their knowledge, really.
This is as real as it gets for them, and this is where the rubber hits the road for the students, and where all their ideas, all their burning midnight oils, all where their creativity comes to fruition, and where they can prove that they are successful.
Yeah, actually, I was with one of the students that participated last year, and now he's working for Shell. Actually, he was hired for Shell. And I remember exact what part, but one of the components of the cars was not like approved, and they knew that, even though they came with that car and like they passed all the others. So, as you were saying, that the technical inspection, once that passed, I mean, they competed. They didn't win, but they had a car that had all the other things.
And I think passing technical inspection is the biggest achievement of any new team that joins Eco Marathon. What happens out on the track often is a little bit of luck as well, is a bit of how it goes, how the weather is. But passing technical inspections, I think, is the prerequisite in order to be pleased with yourself and with the project that you've undertook.
Yeah, so once they pass through your team and hear the inspection, they go out and compete. And remind us, for some of our audience, what are the biggest records for the Shell Eco Marathon? It's like amazing numbers, right?
Yeah, the numbers are quite astonishing, what you can get out of a gallon of fuel. So far, the teams here in the United States have achieved over 3,000 miles to the gallon of fuel in terms of efficiency. I mean, bearing in mind that the road average for most cars on the street today is about 25 miles to the gallon. Over 3,000 miles to the gallon is an amazing achievement. And it is not so much this number, but it is the ideas that stand behind it that make it possible that in the end will change the world and the world of mobility in particular.
It's amazing. Well, so you're very busy here. You have 116 teams, I believe, to go through the inspection. How long it takes each one of them?
A technical inspection can take anything between half an hour and an hour. Wow. And in that hour, we inspect everything that is important. And if a team does not pass one particular inspection, they can come back and have it re-inspected.
So you're going to be busy.
We'll be busy for the next 4 days.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Este programa fue una producción de National Latino Broadcasting.